Right then, so back on the beetle, we've got the Exmoor Clouds trial coming up on the 2nd of November. So after the Edinburgh trial, jobs to do on this one is the tail light and brake light bulb kept going out. It didn't seem to matter what we'd done with the bulb on the event, it still kept going out. He said adjust the fan belt. I mean, he said whip out the starter motor and either see if we can clean up the solenoid in it, or we have got the old starter motor out of the camper van we might as well put in it. I'll swap the solenoid over. And then, yeah, I think that's about it for jobs for the Clouds trial. But we have got bigger jobs planned for the beetle for the Exeter trial in January, which will involve removing the engine and gearbox. So lots more videos to come. Also, Volvo's up in the air at the moment. I'm going to replace the rear handbrake shoes on it. So lining's disappeared on that one. Just randomly went on Friday. We was on holiday. And we've also got new exhaust hanger to go on the back of it. And then also we've got on the Land Rover, just messing about with the roof racket maker supports. I think it looks really ugly and I don't like it, but as we've got a roof tent to try out on it, probably a good idea to keep the 110 rack on it, so we should be able to get some storage boxes on the top there. We've also got the MOTs due on the Land Rover now. I think it's got about a week left on it. I've just got to replace some bushes on the front, which we've already got the bits for. Right, so we've got the beetle up in the air on axle stands. So that's the starter motor up in there, hard to see on camera. So I'm probably going to pull out this heater pipe in a minute. Looks like it's coming off anyway. Then obviously, first of all, we need to disconnect. Oh, there's a starter motor up there, look. But first of all, we need to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. I'm going to be naughty and try not to do that because it's all in a battery box, which I really can't be asked to take apart. So I'm just going to tape it off, but so if I can get it undone safely. I don't know if we can see any better now, but see up in there. This is a solenoid. You've got the two cables there to disconnect. Obviously there's a 13mm on there, and the top one's just the spade terminal, like the trigger wire. Right, so let's change the plans. I'm going to disconnect the battery, because obviously with these new impact drivers and things, it only takes a second. It's just those 4 bolts there. So the bolts out of the battery box, they can just lift out of there, just like that. See my nice shiny new Halfords battery. So obviously this is a negative terminal, so we just need to get 13 on there and pull that one off. Just tuck it out of the way so it doesn't touch the battery, then it doesn't matter what happens to the live wire then. We're not going to be shorting anything out. Go wire off and just tuck down there, so we can crack on now and get the starter motor cables disconnected. As you can see then, we've got that wire disconnected off of there, and then we've just got this top wire. Hard to see in the picture, but that's just the trigger wire, that's just the spade terminal that pulls off. And I don't know if I can show you on camera, but it should be on the starter. I can just see there, look, there's a 17mm headed nut there we need to get off, and we need to go into the engine bay then. Right, I don't know why, but that seems to be a pain to get to in there. It's like the socket doesn't quite fit. We're nearly off anyway. It's a 15mm headed nut, not a 17mm headed one. Right, I think it's going to be easier to undo the top bit, just so we can pull the starter motor back a bit to try and get them off. We'll carry it out. Jacking the car up a bit. So look down in there. Oh, I don't know if we can see it like that. Somewhere in there there's a 17mm head, so we'll try and undo. I can't really film doing that, but it's in there, believe me. It's one of the 4 bolts that hold in the engine to the gearbox. See, I was struggling with the bottom one now because the whole stud's come out. Obviously, say I haven't touched this starter motor, and obviously the car's been off the road since the 80s. I've just hit it with a hammer when it hasn't worked. The top one is now just spinning, so I'm hoping if I pull the starter motor back a bit, that will jam the bolt through, so we'll be able to carry on undoing the bolt. Like the thread's right at the end of the nut anyway, but it's just hard to get it to undo. Right, finally, West rustled out from above. I was having to keep coming under here and pulling the starter motor out and trying to jam the bolt. I'd imagine there was a lot of corrosion on the end of the bolt where it wouldn't come undone. But anyway, try and do it on camera. Let's take this starter motor out then. Hooked up on the wires. Oh, I'm not showing you what I'm doing, look. Oh, there's the starter motor then. Oh, lovely and muddy. So I guess we try and take the solenoid off and see if there's anything we can clean up on it. And just the next question is, do I just put in the starter motor I took out of the beetle? Or out of the camper van either? Or do I just swap the solenoids over? Or who knows? Anyway, let's get this one off and have a look. Alright, unfortunately on the beetle starter motor I can't get these 2 screws out here. So the camper van one, I'm just going to clean all that up. You can see it's very rusty around there where the cable sits, so we'll clean that up. We'll probably take off the other one as well and clean it up. and we'll pop that one in, and hopefully it'll be good. So it did always seem to start the camper van. It was just very very slow. Well, no, it wasn't that slow, but I'm hoping it was other issues I had with the camper van. But I'll just put a Chinese one on that one for now. But obviously these ones can be rebuilt. Right, so I've got all these cleaned up. New nut and washer on there. I sanded all that down there. So we've got a new washer on there. So I've got it in place. Also, we'll have to clean up the bolt wherever it is, and maybe try and find some Loctite to go on that. See, there's the bolt. I won't zoom in on the camera. I'll clean up those threads there, so then that will just slide on and off. Should make it a bit easier. Excuse the state of my workbench. I'm a bit of an animal. Yeah, so this is really jammed on there. Me trying to undo it, really jammed it up there, but I'll keep at it and see what happens. Right, with some ugga-duggers on it, I managed to get it to screw down. Cleaned up the thread with the wire brush, and then it managed to unscrew it then, so I was quite lucky. So just running a tap on it to clean up the threads. I'll obviously do the same for that D-bolt as well. So that's all them cleaned up. I just ran the taps through them. Like I said, we'll put just a dab of copper grease on them, just so they won't go rusty again. Oh, you can't see anything there. Right, so I managed to get the stud back in. I had to use double nuts to get it to go back on. But so I think this is only a pain because obviously this is an abandoned vehicle. So we're going to get this starter motor back in now. So that's the D nut there. See it locks in on there, so you can turn the other side. But obviously it doesn't work when that end's really corroded. So now we've got it cleaned up with copper grease on. Hopefully it'll go well. But anyway, we're just going to lift it into place now. Right, well that felt harder than it should have done, but the starter motor is now in there and bolted up. We've just got to clean up the cable now. We can get that back on there. Right then, I've just loosely put the battery terminal back on. Turn the key and give it a try. Oh, check it's out of gear. There's a gear stick on. Yeah, it's out of gear. Oh, tap the throttle. Oh, it's turning over. So it might be a bit slow, that starter motor, but it'll probably do for now. Oh, is it in gear? No, it's not in gear. Right, so I've got to adjust this fan belt now. I think it's a 21mm nut on there, so there is a slot there, so you can wedge a screwdriver in to do it, but I'm probably going to cheat and just use the ugga-dugga gun. I'll just try removing one or two shims and see what that looks like. Right, so that's what it looks like with the pulley off, as there was a lot of slack in there. I'm probably going to take off 2 shims. And then we put the pulley half back on. Obviously very difficult to do, but you put the spare shims go on the other side of that. It's very hard to do and film it. So I've got that back on there. It's only nipped up at the moment. Belt tension's feeling good. Just got to fire it up and see what happens. And then slow it down again and check it, because the belt might go tighter or looser after doing that. So obviously you've got to get the pulley on straight. And the belt's obviously pushing against it as you're trying to tighten it up. Right, ran it then. It's got a good belt tension. So see, I don't like to run them over tight because obviously just wearing out the bearings, so we can tighten up the nut now. So we need to put a screwdriver in there and torque this one up to the correct spec. So the next issue we had was the tail light and brake light stopped working this side after scrutineering, but we actually failed scrutineering on the indicator not working that side, so we got the indicator working again. And then the bottom one went out and we fiddled with it, got it working past scrutineering, and we got to the first section and that light was out again. We fiddled with it 3 more times since then, got it working, it was going out again, so we're going to strip the headlight apart and give all the contacts a good clean up. Push the bulb back a bit, it works, so I'm hoping it's just dirty contacts in there, or I might need to pull the tabs in a little bit more. Just see in there, look. Clean all that up and hopefully it'll work. Right, so I've got that apart there. I'm going to clean up these bits here and I'll probably try bending them in a little bit. We just need to do that with some pliers, and then hopefully that would do it. Well, that worked well, so I just bent in the metal tabs and give it all a good clean up. I don't know if I should put a bit of copper grease in or something, but it might also be worth me cleaning up this one, because that one obviously it's worked ever since we fiddled with it. Yeah, indicator's still working as well, and all the lights have been working on this side, so hopefully I can just leave that alone now then. Right, I can get the wheel back on then, and that's it all done for now. But so I've got some stuff I want to do with the sump guard with it, or whether or not I will do that at the moment. So I've got a lot on at the moment. But anyway, thanks for watching. So you'll see the beetle out on the Exmoor Clouds trial.